What if the man who has survived war, time, and death itself is finally destroyed not by his enemies, but by betrayal from within? One night changes everything. One decision puts Jamie Fraser on the edge of ruin. And just when hope seems lost, love crashes back into his life in the most heartbreaking way possible. The night feels wrong from the very beginning, like the air itself is warning that something terrible is about to happen. Savannah stands on the brink of chaos as the British tighten their hold, and every street carries the tension of a city ready to break. But far from the noise of cannons and marching boots, a quieter, more dangerous storm is already forming around Jamie Fraser. He walks into the lodge with the same calm strength he has carried through countless battles, but this time, something is different. The room is filled with men who once stood beside him, men who shared oaths, secrets, and loyalty. Yet tonight their eyes feel colder. Their silence feels heavier. Jamie senses it immediately. This is not a meeting of allies. This is something else. As the discussion begins, the tone shifts quickly. What starts as talk of war and strategy slowly turns into something sharper, more personal. Questions are asked, but they are not simple questions. They are traps carefully designed to pull Jamie into a corner. His past choices, his movements, even his loyalty are suddenly under scrutiny. Every word he speaks feels like it could be twisted against him. Then comes the moment that changes everything. A name is spoken. A claim is made. And suddenly, Jamie is no longer just a man in the room. He is a suspect. A traitor. The accusation hits hard, not because it is true, but because it is planned. Someone has been waiting for this moment. Someone inside this very circle has decided to destroy him. Papers are revealed, evidence carefully prepared, pointing toward betrayal. The room shifts instantly. The same men who once trusted him now look at him with doubt, or worse, quiet agreement. Jamie understands the truth in that moment. This was never about loyalty. This was a setup. But the real danger is not just the accusation. It is what comes next. Because in a time of war, being called a traitor does not lead to a trial. It leads to a rope. Far from the lodge, Claire feels the shift without even knowing why. She has seen too much, lived through too many moments like this to ignore the feeling in her chest. Something is wrong. Deeply wrong. While she works tirelessly, saving lives with steady hands, her thoughts refuse to stay focused. They keep pulling her back to Jamie. She remembers the way he left, the quiet determination in his eyes, the unspoken promise that he would return. But now that promise feels fragile, like it could break at any second. At the same time, Brianna stands in the middle of a different kind of battlefield. The wounded surround her, their pain constant and overwhelming, but her mind is somewhere else entirely. It is with Roger. The distance between them is no longer just physical. It is something deeper, something caused by choices neither of them can undo. Every life she saves reminds her of the lives being taken. And somewhere out there, Roger is part of that destruction. And Roger, on the other side, feels it too. He moves through the British lines with a heavy heart, each step filled with doubt. He tells himself he is doing what is right, that he is standing by his beliefs. But the truth is harder to ignore with every passing moment. Because the war is no longer just about sides. It is about consequences. And the greatest consequence might be losing the woman he loves. Back at the lodge, the situation reaches its breaking point. Voices rise. Accusations turn into threats. And Jamie realizes that there is no way out through words alone. The truth no longer matters here. Only power does. The men in that room have already made their decision. Jamie Fraser is going to fall. But Jamie is not a man who accepts his fate quietly. Not when everything he loves is at stake. As the tension explodes into violence, the room descends into chaos. Loyalty disappears, replaced by survival. And in that moment, Jamie does the only thing he can do. He fights. Not just for his life, but for his family. And as the flames of betrayal rise around him, one thing becomes clear. This is not the end. This is only the beginning of something far worse. The moment Jamie escapes the lodge, the night turns into a hunt. Every shadow feels alive. Every sound behind him could be the men sent to capture him, or kill him. The fire he leaves behind is not just burning wood. It is burning his name, his honor, everything he has built. By morning, the story will spread across Savannah like wildfire. Jamie Fraser, the traitor. And in a time like this, a label like that is a death sentence. He runs through narrow streets, his breath heavy, his body already worn from the fight. Blood seeps through his sleeve, but he ignores it. Pain is nothing new to him. What matters now is reaching Claire, before the soldiers reach him first. Because he knows the truth. This is bigger than one accusation. Someone powerful wants him erased. At the same time, the battlefield begins to awaken. The silence of the night shatters as cannons roar and muskets fire. The long-expected clash has finally begun, and it does not care about love, family, or second chances. It only takes. Brianna feels it instantly. The ground trembles beneath her feet as wounded soldiers are rushed into the field hospital faster than she can handle. Her hands move quickly, almost automatically, but her heart is somewhere else. Every explosion makes her flinch. Every scream reminds her that Roger is out there, walking straight into this nightmare. And then she hears his name. A wounded soldier, barely holding on, delivers a message that stops her cold. Roger is alive. He is fighting, and he has not forgotten her. Those few words break something inside her. Because now she knows the truth. This is not just distance anymore. This is fate pulling them toward a moment neither of them is ready for. A moment where love and war will collide. Out on the battlefield, Roger marches forward with the British line, his rifle shaking slightly in his hands. Orders are shouted, but they sound distant, almost unreal. His mind is filled with memories instead. Brianna's voice. Their life together. The promises they made. And now every step forward feels like he is betraying all of it. But there is no turning back. Not here. Not now. Because in war, hesitation can get you killed, or worse, get someone else killed. Back in the darkness beyond the city, Jamie's path is suddenly cut off. Riders appear ahead of him, blocking his escape. For a brief moment, it feels like the end has come. He raises his weapon, ready to fight again, even if it costs him everything. But then a voice calls out. A voice he never expected to hear in this moment. William. Relief hits Jamie hard, but it does not last long. Because William brings more than just hope, he brings truth. Proof that the accusations against Jamie were planned. Forged. Designed to destroy him from the inside. For a split second, everything changes. Jamie is not just running anymore. He has a chance to fight back. But war does not wait for reunions. The sound of approaching soldiers forces a decision. There is no time to explain, no time to think. Jamie knows what must be done. He sends William away with the documents, the only thing that can clear his name, while he stays behind. Alone. Once again choosing sacrifice over safety. Because if he is caught, at least the truth still has a chance to survive. Meanwhile, Claire rides straight into danger. She does not think. She does not hesitate. The moment she hears Jamie is in trouble, nothing else matters. Not the war. Not the risk. Only him. And when she finally sees him, everything else disappears. For a brief, fragile moment, the chaos fades. The fear, the pain, the distance, it all collapses into a single heartbeat as they reach each other again. But this is not a peaceful reunion. It is desperate. Jamie is wounded, exhausted, hunted. And Claire knows instantly, this is far from over. Gunfire erupts around them, tearing that moment apart as quickly as it came. She fights beside him, refusing to let him fall, refusing to lose him again. But even as they escape into the darkness together, the truth remains. They are not safe. Not even close. Because now Jamie is a marked man. The British want him dead. And somewhere behind all of this, the real enemy is still watching. As the episode closes, every thread tightens. Brianna continues working, her heart breaking with every passing second. Roger moves deeper into the fight, closer to a line he may never come back from. William rides into the unknown, carrying the only hope left. And Jamie and Claire, they disappear into the night, wounded but unbroken. For now. But the question remains, how long can they keep running before betrayal finally catches up with them?